So today we're going to do some long exposure photography at one of my spots here that that water's already cooling down. Quite a few people back in here partying, but as far as I know, I am one of the only photographers that's been back in here. But this usually slows down to a trickle right here, and it's been at the about the same height straight through the summer, straight through the spring, straight through the summer, and now we're going into fall, and she's at about the same height, which has been, you know, really good for long exposure waterfall photography. Which I'm going to demonstrate for you today. I'll go over some settings, camera settings. I'll go over some sight settings. I just want to check things out here a little bit. Some things you're going to need are protection, depending on where you're at. I like to carry a gun, and I take my dog out with me. Secondly, you're probably going to get wet, so I recommend aqua socks. So this is just a look at the equipment that I take out on, you know, a day like today, where I just want to get some quick photography done. I'm not going to stay out real long, maybe an hour or two. So I have a decent tripod, ball head tripod. We got my Canon 70D, and this is actually one of my modified cameras, so I'm able to shoot in infrared and ultraviolet with this. And then I have my Sigma Art 18-35 attached to the camera, and then I also have a 50mm f1.2 in the bag if I need it. And then in my bag I just have some supplies, extra batteries, food. Sorry about that, guys. Food, survival gear, some stuff to drink, and the trusty old dog. Can't forget him. Not forget the dog. So let's do this. Now this is the first shot I'm going to take right here, and then I'm going to work my way up this creek. So find a shallow spot here. You want to be careful, especially when you're lugging your gear through a creek. And I got over $1,000 hanging around my neck right now. So yeah, I want to get up on this this waterfall here. I want to get a little closer than I am right now, and we'll get set up. Hey guys, so I'm set up for my first shot here. You can see I'm actually standing in the middle of this waterfall. You really got to watch. I don't want to get distracted here with this other camera, so I got my strap around my neck. But you can see we got lots of movement here. We're in a beautiful spot. Everything that my eyes are seeing right now is 100% natural. Okay, and this is, you know, really the ideal situation in my mind anyways. I mean, sure, you could go to Niagara Falls, something you could drive right up on, and I'm sure you'd end up with some beautiful photos, but going out like this, you're going to end up with great photos, and you're going to end up with a wonderful experience. You're going to feel, you're going to relieve stress, you're going to feel more relaxed, you're going to feel good about what you've done. So I just want to show you here my camera settings. I'm set to f16. I've got that aperture closed up as far as I can close it. I've got my ISO set to 100, and I'm shooting in about a half second. If I thought it was a little darker out, you can see we got an overcast sky, but it's not. I like to get at least a second and a half of exposure in on these waterfalls like this. I really should have brought an ND filter. I do have an infrared filter I might try slapping on the end of this camera to get some extremely long exposures. With the sun being covered up, I should have no problem getting at least 3 to 5 second exposures anyways. I'm in manual mode. F16, half second exposure. Another important point to make is you'll want to shoot with an interval voltometer, or you're going to have to set the drive on your camera. You can see mine is set to 2 seconds. So I'm going to hit the shutter button, let go of my camera in 2 seconds, because it's going to take a photo. So let's get focused in here. Now, in this shot, I want to focus in on this rock right here. That's going to be my focal point. And at f16, you get a pretty nice shot. I could actually take that up to about 8/100ths of a second, I think, and still be safe. I'll still be able to take the image into Hush Up, the Adobe Camera Raw, and bump the exposure down as need be. So we're off to our next spot here. This way. I mean, it's really not that complicated. You just got to get out and do it. You got to find yourself. some ideal places. Like, look at this. There's a million different photographs here. I want to show you guys something. This is all solid bedrock right here. And this creek, this stream over the eons, has carved out these giant tubs in this stream. They're everywhere. That's what these waterfalls are. They're every spot that you see white water, see on the far side there, that is the stream hitting a tub. On that far side there, you see where the main current is on the far side. There's a gigantic tub right there that, you know, in the middle of summer, it's perfect to kick back in and cool off. So this is going to be the second spot that I set up in. Many times as I've been back here, I've never photographed this. And I would say that this is definitely worthy of a few shots. But this stream is like this the entire way down this mountain. The whole way down this mountain is like one giant waterfall. You couldn't ask for a better spot to take pictures. Now you see right here, you can see this channel. Some time ago, the main channel of the stream was on this side, and it literally cut a channel right down through that rock and right down this side. So yeah, let's get set up here. So I'm going to show you one of the type shots that I like to take. Just, you gotta move, buddy. And he does this every time. I'm not gonna be able to shoot this flower now until it's moving completely. But you can actually get right up on a flower or something, a subject. That's set away from the falls. You end up with a really neat effect. This one isn't going to come out the way that I planned, but if you can bring a forward subject into focus, like this flower here, and blur out your background a little bit, the water being your background, you'll end up with some really nice photos. You'll end up with a really neat effect. It's something to try while you're out. So hopefully you got something out of that. Never claimed to be a great teacher. I just thought it might help some of you out there who may be interested in doing long exposure photography, specifically pertaining to water and waterfalls. Thought you know, the little bit of guidance might help.